Friends, this is the Cedar Grove Baptist Church. My name is Tyrese Ivey Sr. I serve as the senior pastor here at Cedar Grove. We are so elated to have you walk with us during our Holy Week morning devotionals. We are almost to the end. Thank you for hanging with me every morning. But if it's your first time, welcome. And you always can go back on our social media pages and catch up on what we've been talking about this week. We're walking through John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him. That's what I want to talk about. He that believeth. Friends, let your mind roll back. You remember those Easter suits, that Easter dress, those ponytails, pigtails you had in your hair, those Easter speeches that you had to recognize, learn, and remember and quote, most of us without the paper, those Easter songs that we sung. You remember how we used to do church, the time when the deacons would stand for devotion and the choir would march in on Sunday mornings. And they would have on the choir robes and pastor would have on the traditional robes. How we used to do church. Before we got all fancy with these lights that's behind me and all this new stuff that we have. When we didn't have no social media pages. You remember how times have changed. We've transitioned from choirs to praise team. We've transitioned from robes to skinny jeans. We've transitioned from podiums to tables. Pastors don't even sit in the pulpit anymore. Choirs don't have the robe. I just mentioned they are praise teams. Deacons don't do devotion. We have praise and worship. And listen, I'm not here to argue whether we should go back, stay, keep advancing. That's another topic for another day. But there are some things I think we ought to hold on to. And this Easter, this Resurrection Sunday, this week, as we remember the sacrifice of Jesus, we must hang our hat on. We can't change the story. While the methods that we use to tell the story can change, the message doesn't change. This Thursday, as we creep closer to Resurrection Easter Sunday, those who are lost still need the message. Those who are going to show up to church or watch church this weekend, they still need the message. Daniel, the lion's den is good, but it doesn't save. The Hebrew boys in the fiery furnace is good, but it doesn't save. There are principles and things we can learn from Noah's ark, but it doesn't save. And we can go down and we can know that with God we can defeat giants. We learned that from David and Goliath. But the one message that's true, that does not change, that does save, is one dark Friday. On a hill called Calvary, he died. Since I'm a Baptist pastor, let me say, didn't he die? He died for our sins. That should have been us on the cross. He died. He was placed in Joseph's new tomb. But on the third day, he was risen from the grave with all power in his hands. And what's our job? Confess with our mouths that we are a sinner and believe. Believe in our heart that God raised Jesus from the dead. That's the message. That's what we hang our hat on. That's what drives us to come to church. That's what drives us to do ministry. We believe. And with a changing world and a changing society, I still believe. I still believe that he's able. I still believe he has all power. I still believe he has the whole world in the palm of his hand. That little small song we learned as toddlers and children still holds true and has a great theological message that still works today. He has the whole world in his hand. He has our church in his hands. He has our family in his hands. He has our jobs and security in his hands. He has our retirement in his hands. He has the whole wide world in his hands. I believe. Do you believe? See you in the morning.